not too far from here at Kilburn Sportsplex. Another interesting one for the outcome of this round's table. Here come Adelaide Uni forward. Gets it down the wing. Couldn't take the touch in forward to Tyrant. Russell against Burke. Just gets it wrong. O'Neill. Panagakos. No foul there. City still with it. Looking over the top, Panagakos. Nearly lets it fall through it, but couldn't find another teammate in pink. Morgan keeps it well, plays it out to Burke. Looking for it forward, but just didn't have the option really available to her. That one falls to Morgan. Good passing play there from City. Gilchrist looks to find Juma through the middle. Walton getting in the way of it though. One back by Juma. Still there. Cleared away. Gray. Morgan trying to get in the way there. One back by Uni. Here's O'Neill. Looking down the wing for Tataran. Throw and goes short to Bouchard. Morgan. Panagakos. Looking for the one through the middle. Played back. 5 minutes left. And Uni with the ball into the middle. Looking for O'Neill. Morgan. O'Neill, back to Morgan. Still with it. And wins the free kick. And it's a booking as well to Valeria Forbes. I think the first of the match too. It's in very good position for a free kick, but Abby Lucas stopped quite a few of these towards the end of that first half. And we're into the final 5 minutes of the second. Can she do the same again? Looks to be Isla Sarouche over it. Free kick for Uni. It's not a bad one off the bar. And Uni just knocking on the door. Lucas looks long. Finds Forbes and Panagakos. Panagakos the one winning out though. O'Neill finds the ball through. This could be an opportunity. It's poked in! And it's a goal for Adelaide Uni! With not long left to go, could that one be the winner? Oh! It's not counted! Wow! Could they go again? Another opportunity slipping there though. Well, Adelaide Uni don't find that winning goal. Burke. Panagakos looking down the wing. Morgan. O'Neill. Puts a ball into the middle. Couldn't find a teammate though. Morgan again. Finds it down the wing. Can it be kept in? No. Still trying to find one back. Burke. Her ball into the centre gets deflected. Still with Adelaide Uni. And now Adelaide City come forward through Forbes. Goldsmith though, more than capable of the task of that one. Into the final minute now. Gray.
We all play the same game. The battlefield may look different, but between those painted lines, the feeling each of us get alongside our tribe. Let the moment sink in, then let it rip. The runs out wide, last-ditch efforts and clean sheets. The tap-in or rocket to the top bins. The eruption of the 12th player that sends shivers down your spine. It's in the way we celebrate, because football is everyone's game. Play football.
For over 25 years, HPG Homes have been helping South Australians build and own their dream home. Whether it's a house and land package, custom build or development, our HPG fixed price guarantee ensures no nasty surprises or price changes along the way. We're committed to quality, affordability and creating a way of life for you and your family. Fixed price turnkey. It's gotta be HPG. HPG Homes.
Puts in the penalty and wins the grand final for Campbelltown City. just having this delay at the moment. Looks like we'll be able to continue on with play. Looks like we'll be able to resume back in play. We will resume with a drop ball. So many moments in this match. Non-goals, balls cleared off the line. Some brilliant saves. And now only a few minutes left to entirely decide what happens here. Either way, it's been a terrific match of football. Launched long by Lucas. Ball over the top. Russell is onside. Was just bouncing over her though. City still with it. One back by Panagakos. Couldn't be kept in play by Signorello. Uni throw. Throw does reach, but only for an Adelaide City throw. Back out. That ball down the wing to Russell won't work out. And you can hear the urgency from the Uni bench. They feel that they can get something out of this, more than just the 1 point. They look forward again, losing the ball though. City in a good area. That one may be a little bit ambitious. Uni have another effort. I think they might go long. Goldsmith on it. Header one by Russell. And now off the back of Borton. Panagakos. Morgan. Looks down the wing. O'Neill might look to switch the ball and does do so over the top. Onside is Fitzsimmons. If she can cut it back, it's a good opportunity. Hello, good evening and welcome here to Adelaide City Park. If you're returning, welcome back here for this second leg of this doubleheader. Adelaide City versus FK Beograd in the NPL, the REA NPL for this one. A very interesting clash between these two sides. We'll go through the starting lineups, starting with the home side of Adelaide City. In goal, number 1, John Hall. Number 4, Lewis Kylo. Number 8, Yared Abichu. Number 10, Nicholas Bucco. Number 12, Nicholas Franchisi. Number 14, Binyam Kabidi. Number 20, Yuki Kitano. Number 22, Juan Gutierrez. Number 25, Louis Laurie Latanzio. Number 28, Luca Ullman. And number 46, Oliver Weston. For FK Beograd, in goal, number 1, Jamie Cineriello. Number 5, Cooper Nunn. Number 6, Kristen Konstantopoulos. Number 7, Massimo Falco. Number 8, Jason Konstantopoulos. Number 10, Anthony Trimboli. Number 14, Udai Koike. Number 15, Ethan Harrington. Number 16, Alex Banjak. Number 17, Lorenzo Baselli. And number 22, Floribert Nyonkuru. Our refereeing staff for tonight in the middle, Liam Minter, with assistant referees Dion Turner and Joseph Boycheski, as we see Nicholas Bucco and Massimo Falco undergo the coin toss. I'm Seb O'Neill with you for this one, joined by the one and only Antonis Pagonis. And Antonis, of course, is part of a doubleheader. The first game with this one has a lot to live up to after that WNPL match.
Oh, tell me about it. If we got half the drama we got in the first match between Adelaide City and Adelaide Uni's women's sides, we are in for a treat tonight. That match did end up 1-0, but my God, we had a lot more chances than that suggests. But big game today, second against fifth. Sounds like a solid gap on the table, but the actual gap is only 2 points. So a lot riding on this game here against two sides that have been two of the standouts of this season so far for me.
Both sides almost ready to get underway. How are you expecting this one to go tonight, Antonis?
Yeah, I am expecting a tight match. And again, both sides want to show they can get the job done against the side close to them on the ladder. But when I think of this game, I think of the game last year where FK Beograd won at this venue for the first time in 10 years. So I know that was a very popular night for them back at their club room. So they'd be very keen to get another result like that here. And yeah, they've been really impressive this year, FK Beograd, and I think especially with a recent cup draw, they're up and about their football these days.
Absolutely. But for that big match, or big two matches against their biggest rivals, they have this one to contend with against Adelaide City. Round 12 here. Reverse fixtures now, as well as we see Adelaide City get forward early on, and Cineriello just clearing into the car park, and that might just hit a car. No, somehow it's actually missed the wall. It's gone right through. I must say, Antonis, it was a very quick turnaround between these two games, so I am still sort of recovering from the drama and also regathering myself to focus on a new match of football too.
That's the thing with doubleheaders. There's pros and cons on both sides, but I've got to say it was rapid. Yeah,
we didn't realise this game was starting yet. The players from Adelaide Uni were still on the pitch.
I don't think they were realising it either.
No. Here come Adelaide City. Back on that far side. Have found the wing. And it might go out just for a goal kick instead.
You can see Yuki Kitano there connecting the play. Really good signing from Adelaide City this year. Has been one of their standout players. Just added a real touch of quality to the midfield.
Of course, joining from NPL New South Wales Grand Final winners, Marconi Stallions, a club of another South Australian as well.
And whose father is the football director on the home side today. It's just South Australian football for you. Dom Costanza, of course, and Angela Costanza here at Adelaide City.
Looking at the table as it stands, a few matches going on at the moment. Metro Stars, top of the table, an 8-point gap now. They are winning against Campbelltown at the moment. Adelaide City, of course, we're watching now in second place with the current point they have in 21st. Or sorry, with 21 points in second place. Para Hills and Burkalla as well. That one underway down the southern area of Adelaide. putting them in 9th and 10th as we see Adelaide City try and make inroads forward. A lot to change, I think, over the course of the night and the weekend too, Antonis.
Oh, yeah, a league as close as this one is always changing. I remember it feels like every year we enter the finals and there's like 4 or 5 teams that are vying for that final spot or two. And this year's going to be even tighter, to be honest, because when you look at the relegation battle, there is no team that's lagging hugely behind.
It's weird. It's almost not a battle because no one's really fighting as of yet. It's sort of all just a relegation thing.
Well, that's the thing. Usually every year we've got 1 or 2 teams that are just a big gap between them and everyone else. It's not the case this year, which I think might make a few teams around the league very nervous and wanting to fight even more for these results.
Adelaide City trying to look forward, looking for Luca Orman. I think his first start of the season has been very good off the bench, as he scored some late winners, and I think very deserving of getting a starting berth tonight against FK Beograd.
That's it. You see a young player develop into a mainstay for this team, and he's building himself.
We'll go all the way back to John Hall. Another new but familiar face this season for the NPL and Adelaide City. Currently 12 degrees here in Oakton. Football weather, you'd have to say, although not preferred.
That's for a tad cooler.
That one headed forward by Cooper Nunn. Him and Alex Banjak at the bat this entire season so far, you'd have to say, Antonis.
I'd say so, and I think the proof of that is sitting on the bench today for FK Beograd, Jared Clark, who not only can't get into the starting lineup, but when he does, is in the midfield because Adrian Deloya trusts this defensive duo so much.
Attempted touch on there by Kabidi. Still with it. Here's Binyam Kabidi! A brilliant goal from a player with such quality. And it's nothing more to get Adelaide City up 1-0, 5 minutes in.
And that deserves every flip it got. We saw the flips on the pitch, but you should have seen the bench on the side here. See Vaspaha, Stevie Pepper celebrating like they just won the grand final. And to be honest with you, it deserved every bit of that celebration. An unbelievable strike. And Vinny Kavidi's got that in his locker. I don't feel like we see enough of it, but my God, when he pulls it out, it's absolutely phenomenal. What a way to start us off here. And that's how you open the scoring.
If I'm being selfish, I have been treated to some football tonight, Antonis. Wow.
And we're not even, 10 minutes into this one?
5-minute goal from Binyam Kabidi, opening the scoring.
And, you're almost glad that a game like this gets an early goal because, there's no more formalities. You just go out there, you're playing a good game of football now. Last year finished 1-0. It was a really tough game, and it was Jason Konstantopoulos that got a late winner. Obviously, former City player. Put a dagger onto his old side. But they'll need a bit more of that today, FK Beograd, because they find themselves a goal behind tonight.
That is their 16th goal conceded so far this season. Baselli does find the flick and gets back to him out wide. Lorenzo Baselli putting a ball into the centre, looking for the header, might fall, has the flick. Is it in? Now it is. FK Beograd find an equaliser within a minute. What on earth is going on?
This is football. This is Friday Night Football, Sim. I'm already up and about. This is fantastic. I wouldn't want to be a fan of either one of these sides, but we've got the best seats in the house, and we're neutrals, and we're bloody loving it.
Well, just your average Friday night of football, I think, Antonis.
I love it. After a long week at work, you come to the football and you're treated to this. Absolutely superb. But already, what a start to this game. And you can see why these are two of the top sides in this league because, again, the quality of the goals. Vinny Kavidi's thunderous strike, and then a lovely interplay here on the left between Koike and Baselli to enter the box. Again, that's seconds after going down a goal. Still full of confidence.
A minute. Anthony Trimboli with that one eventually finding well, found the post first and then entered the net. But that's putting it back to 1-1 almost immediately as it was 1-up for Adelaide City. Here they come again. Ball into the area. Yeah, couldn't they?
Don't tempt the fates. Of course, Jamie Signorello in goals, the position that was actually Dakota Oxenham's earlier in the year, former Adelaide City goalkeeper, as Liam Miller calls a foul here for Yuta Koike. Of course, Dakota Oxenham's side will be in the grand final tomorrow in the A-League, Melbourne City. So football works in mysterious ways sometimes. But
absolutely.
We wish him and the South Australian crew of Melbourne City all the best. We'll be watching tomorrow.
Here they go forward again. Beograd finds the ball in the centre for Baselli, but is cleared out of its way. Kabiti finds the touch, but only gives it to opposing Neon Kuru. I was going to give a table update once the Adelaide City goal was scored, but no point now. I think I went through it earlier and it's gone back to the same. Here they come again. Baselli, right on the byline, puts it back into the middle. There was a late run in there as well from Anthony Trimboli, but just couldn't find him in the end. Beograd still with it though. Back into the area. Dealt with only as a corner.
Well, you know, you can feel the confidence from both sides in their football. It's a really good feeling down here at Adelaide City Park, and I think we're going to see a lot of good stuff tonight. We're 9 minutes in, and we've already been
Antonis,
some really good moments.
I'm still recovering, Antonis. I've had too much action, and it's been 99 minutes of football I've had here at Adelaide City tonight. Corner for Beograd. Ball delivered in. Looking at the back post. Looking for a header as well. Flicked upwards. Quite high, in fact. Headed back down. There was a few touches in there. None towards goal. Another shot coming in. That time from Yuta Koike. Ten minutes played, if you can believe it. How will this corner be dealt with? Delivered into the back post. Had a late run in, but John Hall big enough, making himself big enough to capture easily enough as well. Adelaide City looking forward again. Nice play there. Still keeping with it. And brilliantly done so. Trying to find a goal to get them back in front. Cross comes in, looking at the back post. I think it did get a touch, but only took it even more outwards than it was already going. Goal kick for Signorello. You said earlier about how he was almost taken over his number one spot by Oxenham, but Signorello himself has been a brilliant goalkeeper in his own right. Yeah, and perhaps just unlucky that Dakota Oxenham was there for the 3 weeks or whatever it was
exactly. There. And again, like a goalkeeper like Oxenham, it's only natural that he assumes that position, but he's handy number 2, Jamie Signorello. And of course, when an opportunity like that arises for Dakota, he can just settle right back in and with little to no fanfare, because there is no difference. There's still a really good keeper between the posts.
Both of these sides having young goalkeepers named on the bench as we see City get forward and that one cut out. Sasha Lanzoni for FK Beograd, only 19, and Joaquim Bleedy for Adelaide City, only 18 years of age, those two. Just good to see those young players, especially goalkeepers who tend to be sort of in the older age range for their position.
It does feel like there's a bit of a change of the guard in the goalkeeper stocks in South Australia, to be honest. We do have a couple of the older ones back, like your John Hall, your Daniel Margosh, but it seems to be like the next generation slowly coming through. But like you said, they do tend to make their impact a few years later. Goalkeepers are notoriously late bloomers. It's what happens when you've only got one position on the pitch.
I think you only have to look at the likes of Joe Gauchi and Stephen Hall to prove that being a young goalkeeper isn't all that bad as a starting. I believe Stephen Hall has actually come back to Adelaide and has been around some games. I think he was at Adelaide United last week as well in their youth team game. Not playing, of course. Not sure Brighton would allow that. Thrown for City. Only finds Neon Kuru. We've gone nearly 10 minutes without a goal, Antonis, and doesn't feel right.
Very spoiled in those first 10 minutes.
Beograd come again. Trumboli goes back to Neon Kuru and finds a good switch ball out wide to Koike. Koike. Baselli. Harrington now trying to get a 1-2 with Koike, not working out in the end. And that one will be a goal kick. Goes short. Gets to the goal scorer, Kabidi. Contender for goal of the week as well, you would have to say.
I'd love to see what beats it.
Free kick for Beograd. Of course, we did mention it briefly earlier, but would be unkind of us to not mention, of course, not one but two derbies against Croatia coming up for Beograd. One in the league next Monday, and then arguably the bigger one, the qualifying final for the Australia Cup on the 11th of June, or the 18th of June, sorry, I think.
It's an unbelievable occasion. But like you said, a bit of football to go until then.
Metro and Adelaide Comets in that other qualifying final as well the week before. Free kick delivered in, finds the back post, headed only towards the edge, and then the hit. It's a mistimed strike from Konstantopoulos. Kristen. Koike has to sprint to keep it in. Did try, but couldn't do so in the end. John Hall with this goal kick. This game with plenty of history. First ever meeting, 21st of April, 1951. It was a 1-1 draw that day. Same scoreline as it is now. But you would expect there would be more in this match.
Then jinx it. Yeah, I know you've been spoiled with the action tonight.
How much can I push it? How much can I push it?
You are a commentator after all. There is a curse that exists for a reason. Get ahead of yourself. Remember this if you're watching at home. Come back to the 16th minute. It's Seb's fault.
None. Neon Kuru. Harrington. Finds the central ball, and it's a decent one. Gets it second time through. Might just need to have the strike. And it's a lovely goal from FK Beograd and Jason Konstantopoulos to get the scoring back underway 2-1 Beograd.
Well, Seb has not jinxed it. Let me correct myself. But how good was that? The two brothers there combining, and almost that telepathic touch between the two, and no wonder why. Those two boys have been kicking the ball around the backyard since they were little, and now they combined perfectly to get FK Beograd in front after falling behind early to an absolute thunderbolt to Benita Kibidi. They've come and turned it around, and it just tells you the confidence FK Beograd have at the moment. They did lose last week to Campbelltown City, but they entered that game 10 games unbeaten in all competitions. So they're confident for a reason, and they're showing it to us. And a lovely goal, and a bit of a gift for us from the two brothers combining there. Lovely goal.
His third of the season. Still only halfway of his tally of last. He got 6 and was their top last season.
And as I mentioned, he did score the winner here. 1-0 win.
Yes.
First win for FK Beograd at Oakton in a decade. Former Adelaide City player, of course.
I think I did that game as well from memory. I think I was with David Grant there.
I think so.
Needs to find the angle to get rid of it. Beograd now find themselves back in the lead. And it might be better to do a table update while I can. This putting FK Beograd into second place with 21 points, 1 in front of Adelaide United in third, but still with Metro currently having a lead against Campbelltown City. That still puts them 8 points clear at the top, Metro Stars. Adelaide City, though, they find themselves in fourth, equal 20 points with Adelaide United, but a worse off goal difference, only the 1 point in front of currently playing Campbelltown on 19 points, but with a -6 goal difference in fifth. Shows you how much it can change, Antonis, quickly.
And it's, I call it a 2-week league, because within 2 weeks you can be anywhere, especially in a season like this. You know, you look at someone towards the bottom of the ladder, if they have a couple of wins, we're not talking relegation, we're talking either playing finals.
Baselli. Harrington. Koike with an outside of the boot ball there. I mean, not just the men's NPL season, but I think all seasons as a whole so far here in South Australia have been absolutely phenomenal to just see how they play. I think it's been one of our most competitive and entertaining seasons we've had in years.
And exactly, and that pays off in the final months of the season as well, so we've seen nothing yet.
Baselli, unable to get through that time around, but it will fall to Massimo Falco. Was more than happy to try his luck from range there.
Yeah, he's got a powerful shot on Massimo Falco, and you could see that the opposition knows it as well with how quick they were to go and smother that shot. Captain today, of course, Massimo Falco, usual captain. Andoni Natsiopoulos, unfortunately, out with an injury.
And then normally Jared Clark, who also wears the captain's armband on the bench.
But I do feel he's been around a few years now. Massimo Falco at Beograd does feel like a natural leader.
Still only 22 years of age, though.
It's another one of those players that's come through the system. And a wonderful player. He started off his career more advanced up the pitch, but has definitely found a home. Our right back.
Former Adelaide City, too. As well as Croatia Raiders, which I'm sure, again, will be fun in a few weeks' time. Adelaide City looking forward again, trying to find an equaliser. That one cleared far and out by, I think that was Ethan Harrington there.
That was Alex Banjak.
Yes, my apologies.
But very smart there. Nice little chip into the back pitch there to get a bit of a breather.
For all of us, I think. Quarter of the way through the match. 22nd minute now. Nick Bucco has had his captain's armband flailing, I think almost for the whole match so far, to be honest. But it might be a good luck charm. Here's Laurie Latanzio. Cinderello times is catch and jump well.
Someone has to look into these captain's armbands, because Luke Klimek had the same issue the other week.
I want to say at the Barossa too, the same issue. I think Juan Gutierrez has had his dangling for quite a while up at the Barossa.
Investigate this stuff.
Good touch. And then another. just takes it past once again. Nearly finding himself stuck, but still done brilliantly by Luca Ullman. As we said, has had his starting berth tonight and has looked very much on point so far as young Luca Ullman.
See Nicholas Booker before there with the ball. Received the ball with his back to goals. Had no one to bounce it off to, and quite frustrated with the movement of his advanced teammates. But here's Kitanova.
That's the commentator's curse right there, I think, Antonis. Ullman just slipping at the moment. He's about to get the pass there. Thrown for Beograd. Finds it short and Baselli flicks it over the top of him. Well, touchdown and just a late, I think, tap. Just the trailing leg of Lorenzo Baselli. I think definitely an accident more than anything.
Yeah, and I think it's, if anything, it was even Francesa going for the ball and hitting it with force that drove his foot into Baselli's leg. But glad to see he's all right. We get underway.
I think in the WNPL game previous, we only had one yellow card, and that was with about 5 minutes left to go as well. So very much a flowing game in that one too, and has been so far in this one to match. Ball over the top, headed forward. He might be offside, but it's not flagged. Adelaide City still with it, looking forward. Ullman finds the option. Gutierrez putting in the ball into the centre, finds the header. And Signorello again up to the task. None. Good ball to Baselli. Koike just getting the touch off of him, I think. Baselli won a brilliant pickup for FKB. And also a brilliant person as well, lovely man.
And as I found out a couple of weeks ago, he can strike a ball.
Was injured recently as well, missed that game against Parra Hills and maybe one or two others. Slight tug back from Neon Crew. We'll go back to that as Adelaide City get forward. Touch maybe just taken slightly wide. Still kept in play. But yes, just continue on and finish off Baselli back into the lineup, and as he has been all season, playing quite well. Claims of a foul there or a handball perhaps, not too sure, but Konstantopoulos getting a bit antsy at the moment.
It's a frustration on both sides here.
Needs to be, I think, just calmed down by the referee, and he's doing a good job to do so as well, Liam Miller.
We can see that Adelaide City wanted the foul earlier, and White City are glad they got the foul, but they want a card for it as well. So can't please everyone who want to be a referee.
Well, that ends up in a free kick for Ethan Harrington and Beograd, in which he'll just go back to Cooper Nunn. Can hear some of the juniors from Adelaide City, a big junior base for Adelaide City they have. A lot of players, of course, very big club here, come through the system here at Adelaide City and either go on to the first team or even bigger and better things sometimes. I think you only have to look at that wall on the far side where it says 52 Socceroos, I think is what it says there to prove that point.
I think when that Australia Cup game against Adelaide United happened, when all these posts were happening, showing the connection between those two clubs, you just realised just how much has gone through Adelaide City over the years. And of course, one of them is going to be coaching tomorrow in the A-League Grand Final in Aurelia Vidma, his assistant coach, Paul Pezos, another former Adelaide City coach.
Ball back with Hall. Ball one back. Ullman finds it in front. Still trying to find the angle. It's not a bad idea from Binyam Kabidi, but maybe just lacking that final execution in the end.
Yeah, just not on the same page there.
Metro have now taken a 3-0 lead against Campbelltown City. And I want to say they're still in the first half. Or in the second, maybe. I'll have to double check.
And the other thing about that, that's the third encounter this year and heading for a third win.
They're just past the hour mark there at TK Shotter Reserve. Satira and Woodfin getting the first two. Not sure who's gotten that third, but just ever so extends their lead at the top of the table and looks to have secured it almost by now. Here's Baselli trying to keep Beograd within touching distance of Metro Stars. So far already been a very successful year for FK Beograd. On the brink of national qualification, high up in the league at the moment. They've missed out on finals for the last few seasons since coming back up. And this is looking like the one.
And again, it is a long season. We're not going to go early, but again, like you said, they've been very close since they've come up, but this year seems to be where it starts clicking. They're 90 minutes away from fighting for a trophy, getting the national competition for the first time. And again, if they get there, they'll be the rival to do that, which is even sweeter. And again, as we talk, second on the table. But they do have a really good squad, though, together. And even players like Ethan Harrington, the ball now introduced this year from the youth team. And he's done a fantastic job at left back. He's usually a midfielder. But even players like Baselli, they've brought fantastic. Cooper Nunn coming back from the USA again. One of the best defenders in the league. So it feels like all these moves they've made have clicked so far, and it shows. The biggest compliment you can give them is they're missing their captain, who's one of the most influential players, and they're handling it very well.
Did see Andoni at halftime of the women's game, just checking out the pitch on his crutches, unfortunately, though. Looks like he will probably miss out both of those matches against Croatia, which I'm sure any player would be gutted to miss, but especially someone like Andoni, who is ingrained in the club culture at FK Beograd, but I'm sure will also be a very vocal supporter on the sidelines.
Yeah, I was about to say, a player like that is valuable off the pitch as well.
Kylo?
And speaking of Lewis Kilo's fantastic season from him so far, one of the other standout defenders in this league, is really coming to his own this season, and I reckon he might be on for bigger and better things one day.
Good turn there. Only made his NPL debut last season in round 7 against Mulberry Jets. Did Niall, 19-year-old Lewis Kylo, would have been 18 at the time even.
Injury crisis at the time, Adelaide City had, I remember. It's that first half of the year they couldn't buy a win.
No.
Very assured this year. Good size, reads the game well, and really good with his feet. One-on-one defender.
Gutierrez finds the wide ball in Luca Ullman. Needs to take it past one. Ullman elects to have the strike, and had to be palmed away by Signorello for the corner.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was creeping in, but it's one of those that you don't risk it.
I think it might have just gone wide, side netting, if anything, but still, save having to be made just to prevent any doubt. Looks like it has officially dropped to 11 degrees now. Antonis?
We're loving it.
Do you know what? At least it's not raining here. I tend to have rainfall down here when I'm here. Corner. Laurie Latanzio misses the touch. Still has it on the edge of the box. Having to be intercepted by Trimboli. Still in the area, trying to turn. And it will just be a goal kick, but you can hear the frustration from the sidelines, Antonis.
Yeah, Adrian Deloyer was not happy with how that set piece was defended. I think someone missed the mark, and maybe that was Laurie Latanzi who got the ball there, and they miscued to begin with, which was kind of a gift for the visitors, but you could see the booming shot he's got on him as well, and it would be FK Beograd's rivals, Adelaide Croatia, that know the damage Laurie Latanzi can cause, because he pinched the points there last weekend very late with a goal, so got to be very careful with around players with that quality.
Yeah, another wild encounter for Adelaide City last week. 22nd goal they conceded against Anthony Costa as there's a foul there. And now there's a coming together. I think the claim is that as he went past, Udai Koike was either kneed or had a hand to the head. And the FK Beograd bench and players, as you can clearly see, now happy to have the conversation amongst themselves.
Yeah, need was the word I heard as well, that there was a knee contact. It looked like Juan Gutierrez leaned in to say something very unpleasant to Udai Koike. I couldn't tell if contact was made, but the FK Beograd bench and players seem very confident it happened. Liam Miller, didn't react. Called him an A-League player, former A-League player. That's where my mind is. But he's having a conversation with his assistant now, so might be a big turning point here, Seb.
Still continuing on between Gutierrez and looks like they've had that conversation now as well. Just still determining, but they're not really stopping, and it's not really helping the game whatsoever at the moment, really. Just unnecessary at this point. You can understand the frustrations, but once the refereeing staff has had that conversation, and that is that red card to Juan Gutierrez, which leaves City down to 10 and a goal down as well.
Yeah, I think that's going to be getting a few replays and a few close-ups and zoom-ins on YouTube later on tonight.
Looks like Lorenzo Baselli's been booked as well. I'm not sure, maybe for instigating that coming together between all the players afterwards, but I'm not as sure on that one. But Juan Gutierrez sent off, and now Adelaide City a goal down and down to 10.
I do have to say, though, regardless if it was a contact made or not, just don't put yourself in that situation in the first place, especially when your side is a goal down. So Adelaide City are a goal down and a man down now at home, and it becomes even harder.
And again, there's still more happening on the touchline. Looks like someone from the Adelaide City bench has said something unfavourable towards FK Beograd, and all of a sudden this game just having a lot more feeling than I think it needed to.
Yeah, it got a very big reaction from the FK Beograd bench and supporters. Not sure what was said, but again, like you said, this game did not need any more spice, and it certainly got it.
Looks like we'll finally get back to actually playing some football. None. Harrington. Now none. Ball on the far side. Nearly making its way through, but might just be touched out. Still kept though. Now eventually it does go out of play. Ten minutes until the halftime break. Of course, Matt Dorber getting sent off a couple of weeks ago for Adelaide City here at Oakton. He only just making his way back onto the bench this evening. But now they lose Juan Gutierrez, another pretty important player for City.
Yeah, that's it. And it's also like the game itself. You do lose it for the next week, but you're a goal down with over a half to go. And a man down. So it's throws a few spanners in the works.
Harrington to Koike with the no-look pass. Looking for Baselli. He has to also be careful now on a booking. Can't really have the option to maybe just... And again, there's another coming together. That's needing to be sorted out.
Yeah, you can see Liam Miller calling a couple of players over for a chat. I think it's Yuda Koike who's still copying a bit of a few unfair words from unfair. I don't know, depends who you ask. If they're fair or unfair words from the Adelaide City players, but must have retaliated and he's having that conversation with the referee now.
Again, looks like we'll get to actually play some football again. That one just missing and going out of play.
I'll still say you cursed because you say it's a free-flowing game. So I'll get my way in the end.
I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one.
But again, have we had a first half to remember here? A couple of really good goals. An event like that is going to be a talking point all week.
In the WNPL as well, West Adelaide playing against Salisbury Inter. They look to have just an eventful of the match of us. West Adelaide went 1-0 up. That's a crunching challenge in there from Koike. And he has to be careful.
This is not going to help the situation. And he does get rightfully booked here. And you have to say that this was a reaction probably to what he's been receiving.
And I think for me, the main thing was you can almost hear the crunch of the tackle in that as well. Again, the conversation just being had. And Koike now on a booking.
Yeah, just got to control himself after this now, because I know he did look quite upset, but he doesn't want to put himself in the same situation
Absolutely.
that Juan Gutierrez found himself in, because his side does have a man and a goal advantage. You don't want to remove one of those advantages. So he might have to have a quiet word with his coach.
Carlo, back resuming play. Finds a good ball centrally. Laurie Latanzio. Franchisi. Gets the touch into the centre. Bucco now. Gets it back out wide to Laurie Latanzio. Just trying to take on his man. Does do so successfully. Puts it into the centre. Gets touched away and Kristin Konstantopoulos finds Lorenzo Baselli. They launch forward, but the pass lacking from the Italian. Nearly falling on the ball there. Baselli just trying to apply the pressure against Kilo. Franchisi to Bucco. Has Trimboli himself applying pressure, the two number 10s. 5 minutes left. And we've had a lot to talk about, I think, Antonis, in this one half.
Absolutely. And again, what happens at half time is going to create just as many talking points.
It's not that we want it, but this does have the feeling of a game where you do maybe expect there to be one more flashpoint, I think, is the way to put it. Ball comes into the area. Oh, it's headed! Cleared away, luckily for FK Beograd. Decent touchdown from Baselli, and luckily behind him has Konstantopoulos to pounce upon. Kristin. A collision with Nicholas Bucco there.
And it wasn't actually the feet that did it. I reckon that was the arms
It was
coming together with the head.
Flailing arms, I think, more than anything from Bucco. Not a booking, but it does have him down in a bit of pain.
Yeah, I don't think he was trying to get him in the face with that. It's just accidental, like we saw one of those challenges earlier in the game from Baselli. I think that was another accidental challenge. Not going to book that. And again, I do think after those flash points, Liam Miller can try beginning to take a bit of the sting out of it, just saying, yep, I don't have to go to my pocket every single time. I saw what it was. Let's just be adults about it and keep playing.
Metro Stars now with a 4-0 lead against Campbelltown, and look to have definitely secured all 3 points by now. Free kick for Beograd. Delivered nicely into the area. They do have a player down. John Hall comes out well. Konstantopoulos goes back, and will go even further back, you'd imagine, to Signorello. Goes back out wide to Neon Kuru. His pass can't find another teammate in red and blue. Bucco.
Seeing that deeper role this year, Nicholas Bucco playing deeper in the midfield, receiving that ball much earlier than he used to, but he's able to do things like this and put his teammates into dangerous situations.
Nunn clears it forward. Baselli, the beneficiary of the ball forward, but his touch goes out.
And you can see that despite being a goal down, Vasparas is very keen to get the game underway. He's backing his side with a few minutes to go in this half.
Another goal kick for Beograd. None. Baselli finds Koike. Now, Harrington with the throw. Goes to Konstantopoulos. None. None. Harrington. And another strong one in from Franchisi. Gives away a free kick as we enter additional time. Baselli, the one down. We'll just take it short. And I think we might just cruise our way to the halftime break at the moment, Antonis.
There have been a couple of stoppages, but it does seem like the game's taken a breath.
Completely at referee Liam Miller's discretion at the moment as to how much longer we do play for. Neon Kuru. Falco. None. Back to Signorello. Koike is down behind play. Not sure what happened there. Konstantopoulos against Kabidi. Wins the foul. Nicholas Bucco happy to offer his opinion as the captain. Not that it will be taken.
He's never been shy of doing that. Captain's armband, just giving him official license to do so. So, half-time here.
Yes, very interesting first half and I'm sure the second having plenty more to offer. 2 early goals, and then FK Beograd getting 2-1 up. And then Juan Gutierrez getting sent off for, we're pretty sure, what was a knee to the head of Yudai Koike. But still, plenty more to come. 45 still left in this match. Half-time score, Adelaide City 1, FK Beograd 2.
For over 25 years, HPG Homes have been helping South Australians build and own their dream home. Whether it's a house and land package, custom build or development, our HPG fixed price guarantee ensures no nasty surprises or price changes along the way. We're committed to quality, affordability and creating a way of life for you and your family. Fixed price turnkey. It's gotta be HPG. HPG Homes.
Hi, Stephen Curry here. Way too many Australians are seriously injured or die on our roads, and everyone has a right to get home safe every day, no exceptions. Let's champion road safety for all our sakes. Remove distractions, keep your phone out of sight, don't speed, drive tired or under the influence, and talk with friends and family about staying safe on the road. For more info, visit the website, take the pledge and wear a yellow ribbon on yourself or your car to show your support. Let's all stay safe out there.
We all play the same game. The battlefield may look different, but between those painted lines, the feeling each of us get alongside our tribe. Let the moment sink in, then let it rip. The runs out wide, last-ditch efforts and clean sheets. The tap-in or rocket to the top bins. The eruption of the 12th player that sends shivers down your spine. It's in the way we celebrate, because football is everyone's game. Play football.
And he's done so, and he's made it 2-0. Contender for goal of the week. He knows Luke Magello off his line, and he's chipped him from about 25 yards out and has taken a 2-0 lead.
Hi, Stephen Curry here. Way too many Australians are seriously injured or die on our roads, and everyone has a right to get home safe every day, no exceptions. Let's champion road safety for all our sakes. Remove distractions, keep your phone out of sight, don't speed, drive tired or under the influence, and talk with friends and family about staying safe on the road. For more info, visit the website, take the pledge and wear a yellow ribbon on yourself or your car to show your support. Let's all stay safe out there.
What I'm excited about, like the most, how we can come together, learn about everybody, because we're not the same, but we're like we're somehow the same.
The community came to government to express their concerns about young people. It is our role to listen and it's our role to act.
There's so many kids wanting to play the game from all walks of life.
African Youth Program was established to help Africans through sport, cultural identity, mentorship.
Having a program that's going to target the African children, given it's their sport of choice, presents a huge opportunity to link participation in football with education, which is a perfect thing.
I think the African Youth Program will be a very inclusive program with different teams, different schools coming to play with us.
It's like a very big opportunity to expand skills, knowledge, and in different areas of life.
Most of the kids will grow from this program to be able to become valuable, positive contributors in our society.
Like a voice to be spoken with and not being scared to show your skills.
This empowerment program has many different aspects to it, and of course sport is one of those, but it's actually really about finding your place in the world.
I think everybody's pushing in the one direction to make sure that we can make a real difference.
It's not just a game, it's a very passionate sport that millions of people around the world love to play. That's what football is.
Ryan with the free kick. Comes off Cameron Woodford's. Oh, what a save. What a save by Cody Ostreich.
Lining up. Sent into the area. And it's great save there from Woodlands. And we'll give another corner in the end, but
have all 3 points tonight. Although, still possible opportunities. Joy Kingburn with the header. And Vaughan, I think, had to make that save.
Hit it and does. And it forces a great save from Magetto there and pushes it wide for a corner.
Whether it's a house and land package, custom build or development, our HPG fixed price guarantee ensures no nasty surprises or price changes along the way. Fixed price turnkey. It's gotta be HPG.
Has a little bit of space, takes it down nicely and plays a nice sweet ball to Millie Scott. Scott on the run now, has a shot, and she's beaten her opponent to the far post and opened the score for Metro United. Fine goal by Millie Scott, and it's 1-0 on the One World LED Sportal scoreboard. Rushes aside, great. Comes out to Hadaj.
He finds Mansueto at the far side. She's onside. Nice touch by Mansueto to pass her opponent. She struck that beautifully. And Metro United have got themselves back ahead after some fine work on the far side of Victoria Mansueto. It's 2-1.
Back to Noto again, just putting a ball into the centre. Could this make it? Number 5. Good save from Lucas.
That ball clipped over for Rojas. The flag has stayed down. Rojas to restore Flinders' lead. Saved. The edge of the penalty area, you would imagine. And the ball might break here. Box! Oh, great save, Jenner. It might still fall for Box.
On the back of the announcement of the celebration of football, NPLSA will be investing $50,000 into a coach education fund. $35,000 will be invested into community coach education, which will see 19 courses at club venues and over 500 community coaches. Working closely with clubs to develop and upskill coaches will strengthen the grassroots community, which will obviously benefit the football community as a whole.
Can only be beneficial because most of the clubs, most of the coaches start off just as parents coaching their kids' teams, and they're learning on the job as much as the kids. So this would be perfect because not only would kids be getting coached, the coaches will be getting coached.
As a club, we struggle to attract good coaches, and having this sort of funding coming our way will actually allow us to sort of offer more boys and girls out there to actually coach at the club. Everything comes at a cost these days, and this award presented to our club here again will allow our average parents, supporters, players to the opportunity to come out and actually to take on coaching and to be part of it. They've got a passion about this sport and a passion about this club. They'll be able to come here now, get trained up, and actually take on the team and just move forward with us here.
The remaining $15,000 will be invested into a joint initiative with NPLSA, Adelaide United and PSV, where selected coaches and technical directors from South Australia will be given the professional development opportunity to go to PSV in October 2025.
Once you get the bug for the coaching, you love it, and you love seeing the kids improve, especially the connection to your club. You want to see the kids come through at your club, and it's just a win-win for everyone.
We all play the same game. The battlefield may look different, but between those painted lines, the feeling each of us get alongside our tribe. Let the moment sink in, then let it rip. The runs out wide, last-ditch efforts and clean sheets. The tap-in or rocket to the top bins. The eruption of the 12th player that sends shivers down your spine. It's in the way we celebrate, because football is everyone's game. Play football.
For
Welcome back to Adelaide City Park for the second half here between Adelaide City and FK Beograd. 2-1 to the away side, and Adelaide City down to 10. So there's an early foul already there. I'm your commentator, Sabo Nealwyn, and Antonis Pagonis. Looks like we're going to see a lot more of the same already from the first half into the second.
No love lost tonight, certainly. But just have to wait a moment once possession resets. I do think there haven't been any subs, but I do think there's a bit of a system change from Adelaide City. Wait for this free kick to come in.
10 degrees here at Adelaide City Park.
Keeps going down.
As we love to see. Here's the free kick. Delivered in with some pace. Able to be palmed away by Signorello. And now, Beograd on the counter. Only one back. Forward. Here's Neon Kuru. Has John Hall to beat. Neon Kuru just lacked on that hit of the ball there towards goal to really threaten John Hall.
Probably not who you wanted at the end of that. Maybe the other way around if Constantopoulos received. But Adelaide City, again, bittersweet. The free kick nearly in for Nicholas Booker. Great save by Signorello, but gave away a big chance the other end. So got to be a bit careful here. But it looks like City's gone to a 3 at the back with Yared Abachi was a left back in the middle, Ollie Weston on the left side and Lewis Kilo on the right side. And then Francesi on the right looks to be in the wing-back sort of role, and Orman on the other side as Koike gets the ball.
Koike into the box, but unable to find an option for himself.
So if you just tuned in the first half, normal back for Adelaide City have, but Juan Gutierrez got sent off, and a bit of a rejig at half-time from Vas Powerhouse. We'll see how it goes against FK Beograd, who are a goal up here, away from home to Adelaide City.
Again, trying to look forward. Weston. And then launched long by Hall. Joining from Dandenong City. Of course, also formerly of Croydon, Cumberland, Sydney United as well over in NPL New South Wales. Western Sydney Wanderers and Adelaide United, of course, in the A-League as well. Famously made that appearance when they were 7 up against Newcastle Jets, 8 maybe even. And they had a goalkeeper substitution late on.
The John Hall moment I remember is that save where he ended up hitting his head on the post. And it was a really good save.
What a moment to remember.
But I'll tell you what, though, like that sound reverberated, and I'm sure he remembers it as well.
I think I do remember that too.
I do think Adelaide got the points that day, though. So
was worth it.
Yeah, I think he'd say that. But it's just one of those moments that sticks with you.
Still only 31 is John Hall, so for a goalkeeper especially, that's about another 20 years left, I think, of your senior footballing career. I think Buffon maybe went to 45, maybe, something like that.
He did something like that, didn't he? But again, it's...
I mean, Fabian Barbiero's outfield, and he's...
one of one.
One of one,
Barbiero.
yeah. Here is John Hall on the ball, just playing some short passes between each other, Adelaide City at the back there, until finally getting themselves forward. Abachu, another former Adelaide United player, also Croydon, over in other New South, or other NPLs across the country, Green Gully, Newcastle Olympic in northern New South Wales. Here's the strike, just going wide from Laurie Latanzio.
Of course, Yared Abachi even had an A-League appearance. Unfortunately, he had a major injury in that game. Played left back against Melbourne City. I was at the game, that's how I remember.
I remember because it's in my notes. But I do remember that day as well. I think I was there too.
Because that was days before they played Melbourne City in the Cup final in Adelaide. And
they lost.
They lost the away game where Abbotsford played and he got injured away from home. Massive win in the Cup final, the Al Hassan Toure year.
Beograd looking forward again. Jason Konstantopoulos putting a ball right into the area, but John Hall, with his experience, able to guess and figure out the right area to claim into. Catano, been a little bit quiet, maybe so far, Antonis, in this match, but there has been a lot going on.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, the game started off free-flowing, but I think after that red card, those flashpoints, it started being a lot more stop and start, which I think hurts a player like him. But we'll see how he fits into this new look system they're playing this half. But still very open City here, leaving themselves again.
Baselli almost completely free there to receive that pass from Christian Konstantopoulos, and the strike lacking, but still a massive gap just left for someone like Lorenzo Baselli is dangerous.
And, well, we've had 6 minutes in this half. It's happened twice now. Not with Baselli, but having a very similar moment with Nyankuru, obviously.
Absolutely.
A couple of minutes in.
That one put long by Hall, unable to be won by Catano for his side. And again, Beograd back with it. Konstantopoulos looking from range, but at the perfect height for John Hall to grab onto. Weston. Unable to be kept by City. And instead one back. None. Back out wide with Koike. Has the option in the overlapping run behind. Baselli puts it in the middle for Falco. Plays the wide ball. Konstantopoulos back to Massimo Falco with the captain's armband tonight. Ball into the area, taken down by Weston. And you can hear from a few of the players, there is frustration, I think, amongst Adelaide City. Some of them almost arguing with each other about decisions.
I think they're still trying to figure out where everyone belongs in this new system. It does seem like a positive system, but I don't know how much of they've trained or expected to use it, but they still seem to be figuring out who's where, who moves where, who should be doing what when someone does something, when you got the ball, when you don't. So they've got to figure that out quickly, because if they don't, they're going to be punished for it. Like we said,
and then they nearly have to, yeah. And you'd imagine if they continue to have those chances against them, one of them would eventually work out in favour of Beograd and leave them even further with goals down.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got to ensure that you settle it down, because obviously you're a man down as well. It's not just a different system. You've got one less player, so you've got to be on the same page.
Ball looking long, but headed down by Harrington for none. And that one headed out. Beograd throw. Instruction just being issued on this close side to Maxim Ivanic. Looks like he'll be coming on soon-ish. In the meantime, throw in by Falco. Catano winning the header. Has the height, but still jumped for it. This one needs to be dealt with by Weston in a bit of a stuck position as well. Still trying to find their way out of it, a City. Laurie Latanzio, Catano, them almost putting themselves in the exact same position, but they have it with a throw.
You can see how much more central and deep Laurie Latanzio is now because of that change of system.
And we're trying to make a substitution at that break in play, but They just weren't allowed to for whatever reason. I'm not too sure. Back to John Hall. Touch puts himself in a bit of trouble, Booker. John Hall, and then his pass. Certainly not up to standard. And now Beograd will get that substitution they've been asking for. With attitude.
Just waiting to see who's going to be making way for Maxim Ivanic. Who's going to be coming on. So it might be Udai Koike.
And it will be.
Probably wise, to be honest. He is on a yellow card. You don't want to risk it. I do find it a little bit interesting, though, that it's only 10 minutes into the second half that they've made that change. Usually, if you're going to make it that early, you usually make it at half time. But change has been made. Ivanic is on. Which I think we'll see a bit of a change of where players are. We see Jason Konstantopoulos there in a much wider position now that Udai Koike was occupying.
Kitano. Konstantopoulos now winning it back, but his touch will take it out. Does well to intercept there. Does Konstantopoulos, goes back to none. That game between Metro and Campbelltown finished. Metro look to have an 8-point lead, which can only be shortened by Adelaide United, who play tomorrow afternoon.
It's the Adelaide Comets, which is one of their couple of losses this year, Adelaide United. So they might be doing well results-wise, but that is one of the blips of their season.
Of course, a repeat of
Adelaide Croatia Raiders. I've got that wrong. I'm already a round ahead. Well, they did win against Adelaide Croatia Raiders, but it was of the slenderest margins. 1-0 with a late goal from a sub, Mutsam Padawana.
Yes.
So it'll be very interesting to see what happens, because Adelaide Croatia are desperate, and I reckon they're going to make life very hard for Adelaide United tomorrow. That's my prediction, but who knows?
And you'd imagine they'd also want to play them, or start playing themselves into a form ahead of some big games which you might have mentioned already.
Yeah, but look, those derbies form is pretty meaningless, isn't it, sometimes?
Very true. Just about to tick past the hour mark here in Oakton. Juan Gutierrez, the one that has that red card to his name, and as you can see on the scoreboard too. Banjak switches the ball out wide, and it's a good one, except for the offside.
You can see from Anthony Trimbolo, the experienced player, saying, relax, you don't have to force it, take your time. And to be honest, if we have a look at the beginning of this half, it's a real contrast. FK Beograd seem settled, they seem well drilled, they seem comfortable in their system. And you got to say, Adelaide City's new system hasn't quite clicked yet, defensively or offensively. So I'd be expecting to see some changes very soon from City, be it the way they're setting up or maybe from the bench.
Well, they do look like they're in discussion at the moment, especially tactically. It's normally a good sign when they've got the clipboard out and they're pointing at the pitch. that they're looking at least doing something in the match. Here's Weston. Adelaide City still looking to get themselves equal here. In front of a very decent home support tonight. A lot of the juniors as well, you can see on the far side. But Beograd, they come again. Has one to take on, then the shot. Only just palmed. And they will get a throw-in out of it, Beograd.
Third time they've caught them on the counter-attack, 15 minutes in.
Falco to take the throw. Now the cross from Falco. Finds the head, but a good touchdown from Nicholas Booker, who looks to have abandoned the flailing captain's armband for this half. But I think out of a lot of players who wear the captain's armband, Nicholas Booker isn't necessarily one that needs to wear it to know that he's the captain.
Same thing happened with Luke Klimek actually against FK Beograd a couple of weeks ago.
Another player, which is probably the same thing. Right. You don't need to know.
Booker's only been captain for a couple of years, but he has been a leader for longer. Luke Klimek's been captain for as long as I can remember. So.
Banjak and Nunn. Those two probably one of, if not the strongest central defensive pairing in the league this season.
You see why they've had a good season so far. You talk about the defensive duo as Beograd attack.
Trying to find their way down that wing, putting it back central. Neon Kuru to Falco. Does get the touch and just gets a nick on the way through and wins a free kick.
So they've got that central defensive partnership, but their midfield is one of the deepest in the competition as well. Like, you have a look at it today, you've got Neon Kuru and you've got Kristen Konstantopoulos. Natsiopoulos isn't even playing, and you can bring Jared Clark off the bench, and you've got Lorenzo Baselli as well. That's a talented lineup you got there. That's the envy of a lot of the competition. So I think if you got them at if you got a full side and you got them full of form, it's that FK Beograd midfield is really hard to compete against.
And even in general, when you look at the depth, especially from just the bench, Ivanic, who's on, Stam, Bulghetto, Clark, Orchid, it's a brilliant bench to have, and the depth is outstanding. Free kick. And it is Baselli. Not as good as some of his others. But to be fair to him, he has set his own high standard, I think, from a set piece. Catano. Adelaide City looking to bring on Matthew Dorber at the next break in play. Good turn, but one back. Ullman's been a bit quieter this second half compared to the first. Catano winning that one back into the centre. Just trying to find an angle here. Gets it past another, finds the byline, cutting it back. Only in the air. Player going down. Thinking Konstantopoulos. Nice turn. Gent. A few pushes and pulls, but it ending up in a foul and a free kick. And a substitution for Adelaide City as Matt Dorber comes on.
Much better from Adelaide City, though, winning their own ball back, creating those chances. And it will be Luca Ullman that comes off, like you said, a bit quieter this half, bringing on a more experienced player in Matt Dorber.
Of course, I think this is first game back from suspension as well.
And does have a knack of getting goals when Adelaide City needs them, and there isn't a clear avenue through. He's done that a few times over the past few years. can see it's interesting because he is on the wing, and at the moment, Luis Latanzi is leading the line. I wonder if that's something that may change. Even Vidyam Kibidi is on a wider area, but yes, you've got to be able to fit these players into this system while having one less player on the pitch.
Throw on the far side, in which we will need another ball for. That artificial pitch now no longer under lights as it was earlier.
It's one way to get the kids off, even though I don't think it's really worked with some of them, the braver ones.
Who needs lights? Football's football. Will be harder for Adelaide City to try and get a goal back, but not if they have the drive, which they're looking to have at the moment. Dorba puts the ball into the middle, just poked away to prevent, at least for the time being, falls to Nicholas Bucco. Not a bad ball in, bouncing about, has the hit, and just puts it high.
Much better though from Adelaide City these last few minutes. They're starting to create, they're starting to look dangerous.
.25 minutes left. Dorba finding Bucco. Franchisi puts a ball looking at the back post, but it's perfectly judged by Signorello.
This is the danger though.
That'll be a foul and a booking too.
You could see Luis Latanzi had to work back for that, had to commit that foul because numbers were against his side there, and we've seen that multiple times. So they've got this awful balance they have to keep up, Adelaide City, that they need to really attack to grab that goal, but they know that at any moment the ball can just come the other end. And
well, if they don't pull off the attack, they're going to be...
it can be game over the other end, because again, you make it 3, you're a man down as well, it gets really hard. So and as the minutes tick on, that balance gets thrown even more off. He's still keen to press though here.
And you want to see a side be proactive as well, even with only 10. You don't, at least from a neutral perspective, and trying to watch an entertaining match of football, you don't want to see just side defend and try and keep it at 2-1 even. But still for Beograd, they do look for a third. They could get it here, just turning and having the shot. Cleared forward. Laurie Latanzio by himself. No one around him whatsoever, really. And that is the problem that Adelaide City have at the moment. Like you said, they either commit numbers back or commit numbers forward. There's no real in-between at the moment for them.
And it takes a lot of energy to be able to pull it off.
And that could be a lovely ball through, if not intercepted, in which it is by Lewis Kylo. Hall has to be quick on his feet. Plays it wide. Adelaide City bench not happy with the contact there, but Beograd play on.
I think Ethan Harrington won the ball back from left back and started moving forward and remembered he's a midfielder and backed himself there for a second, but I think maybe a bit of a bobble that he took and didn't really please his bench, but they will be pleased with the work he's done at left back today and throughout the season though. He's been superb.
None. Falco. Just lets it roll past him, but just needed that bit more curve to it to keep it in play, but didn't have it. Abichu nearly losing it, but was able to take it past Trimboli. Again, those conversations about who needs to be where at the moment really not coming to Adelaide City's help. Abichu goes forward and then turns back.
Do you see the big gap between those lines for Adelaide City?
Ball looks forward, despite shouts of handball. Now, they look forward again. Harrington just stuck on that far side, but does keep it in play. Now, Kuru.
They're playing the game well, though, FK Beograd. They're not rushing it, they are patient, and they can unlock the defence like this.
Ivanic, the substitute. Sprays the ball back out wide, but his pass won't reach. And then the touch from Franchisi doesn't help himself. Baselli, still with it, takes himself out of play and just puts it out for a throw-in instead of the corner.
And look at this, every Adelaide City player not named Luis Latanzi is within 5 metres of the defensive box. See that disconnect that we're talking about, then it's only natural, but like you said, it's not helping their case.
That one chested down. 20 minutes left. And a counter perhaps brewing. Put into the middle for Kitano. Has Neon Kuru on him. Kitano still with it. And his shot right towards Signorello. Not really helping Adelaide City.
Yeah, straight at the keeper there, but a great play from Luis Latanzi on the wing. In a situation like this, you need a bit of individual brilliance, and that's exactly what he provided. But unfortunately for him, his teammate couldn't repay that brilliance. But, you know, there's a spark there.
And they look for a second spark in succession. Ball comes into the area. Goes over Kitano. And Dorba has to chase to keep it in. But is unable to do so.
I think Beograd's going to their bench.
Beograd do have a player down.
I think it's Kristen Konstantopoulos. So it looks like both sides are going to go on the bench. Adelaide City with Fergus Lynch, and I think FK Beograd preparing Riley Stam and Jaron Clark below us. When they come on, we'll see. So it will be Nicholas Franchesi coming off for Fergus Lynch for Adelaide City first.
Jared Clark coming on as well, the Vanuatuan international.
It will be for Kristen Konstantopoulos, who was down just before. So it continues in that midfield role that we've seen him in this year.
Another who was a part of Adelaide City formerly. Also spent some time in Serbia as well. And of course, has recently been a part of the Vanuatuan national team. Recently also came runners-up in the OFC Nations Cup, which they played in Vanuatu, in Port Vila.
He was marking one of his fans as well, I heard, Chris Wood.
Yes,
a big fan of the NPLSA. Chris Wood.
The eccentricities, I think, of oceanic football. You do sometimes have that happening, especially when you have New Zealand involved. Of course, now with that slot and a half for the World Cup, meaning it is not easier, but a lot better for more oceanic teams to try and qualify. So the likes of Vanuatu or New Caledonia, Solomon Islands even, all to compete for an extra slot there. Even New Zealand's game for their World Cup qualifying final was pretty close for most of it.
And it's also great that South Australia's become a bit of a hub for these Pacific Islanders players, and a fantastic work done by Josh Smith and the Player Performance Project with the work they put in the logistics and the on-the-ground support and creating a community for them. All that stuff adds up, so it's great to see, and long may it continue.
Well, Adelaide City had one themselves last year in Raphael Leai. Now with Wollongong Wolves, there's a few in State League 1 and State League 2 as well.
Got a couple in the NPL too with Junior David at Croydon and Yavin Eilick at Campbelltown City, so it's good to see.
It's always fun to keep an eye on too, I think, whenever you see those World Cup qualifiers come up in Oceania. Nice ball through. Was almost let to just slide, but Neon Kuru getting it back. 15 minutes left. And Beograd still with a lead. Looking to bounce back after a disappointing loss to Campbelltown last week, who then themselves have had a loss to Metro Stars 4-0.
I think it's very easy to forget that game against Campbelltown City was where Beograd's 10-game unbeaten run ended in all competitions. 10 games is very impressive at a local level when there's so many factors to consider. Especially considering the start of the season, 3 straight losses to begin. Just turning it around is really impressive, and they are just over 10 minutes away from another scalp here. FK Beograd, but Adelaide City will not want to drop 3 points at home. So I think we haven't seen the last of them this game. I think they're going to be creating at least one more big chance this game as they keep pushing. As we said, though, it's what happens at the other end, because if you start committing numbers forward, if the ball doesn't go in the back of your net, it can turn quite ugly quite quickly.
Absolutely. Nicholas Booker on this set piece. All options looking towards the back post, you would imagine, especially with the way they're positioned. Or not. Fools me. Ball comes into the area, but only headed away. Maybe the option I thought could have been better. Ball looks long. Headed downwards. Abachu switches the ball out wide. Quite a few fans out on that far side as well.
See a bit of blue as well. Looks like the awake one.
Just hitting 10 p.m. here in South Australia. So we have a slight break in play. This game kicking off just after 8:15 was scheduled for 8:15. I think just happening a little bit later due to the WNPL match kicking off slightly past their scheduled time. But is a late one here at Adelaide City Park.
Yeah. At the end of the day, anything that kicks off after 8 p.m. is going to be a late one.
Well, Salisbury Inter and West Adelaide and WNPL, they started at 8:30. So they'll still be going by the time we finish too.
So make sure you tune in. Elsewhere around the grounds, Para Hills are still 1-0 up away to West Orange Bacala.
That puts them up to 9th place. Bacala in 10th, equal points with Modbury. Coming on, Seppi Baldino.
For Luis Rolori Latanzio, who seems to be down with a shoulder injury on that far side. But a long throw is about to come in on the far side.
Headed back. Only into the hands of Jamie Signorello.
Got to be careful with these long throw-ins. They can give you a different angle sometimes.
Into the final stages, final 10 of this match. Beograd have had quite a few opportunities to extend their lead, but yet to really make any of them count. Can Adelaide City grab something? That took a deflection, I think, and it will be a corner.
And it might not be a problem now, but you know, every one of those missed opportunities keeps Adelaide City in the game. And again, on Adelaide City's end, every attack, they go after the risk over committing. So it's a real fine balance here, and dangerous scoreline, obviously, 2-1. 10 minutes to go, many things can happen.
Including corner for Adelaide City. Looks at the front post. I think it was just cleared by the head. Still has it. Put into the middle. But now, City under pressure. FK Beograd on a counter-attack. Just tripped up there, and it should definitely and will be a yellow to Lewis Carlo.
Easiest yellow card we give all day. Liam Miller just had to be done, though. Because, again, you sacrifice yourself to get a yellow card to avoid being undermanned in a counter-attack. So, sacrifice worth taking.
Making sure Jared Clark with it now. Baselli with the touchdown. Flicks it out wide. And then now a good ball forward. Nice bit of play there from FK Beograd. Trimpoli puts it into the centre. Needs the touch. Gets it from Jared Clark in the end. But now Dorber pounces upon. And Adelaide City look for their own counter. Strong challenge in.
Great tackle by Cooper Nunn there. Giuseppe Baldino, obviously fresh on that right-hand side, but perfectly timed tackle by Cooper Nunn.
Burko. Catano putting a ball in. Probably someone you'd rather be on the end of those, to be honest. Could Beograd look for another counter. Vanic is forward. Instead, they elect to just slow the pace down. Baselli against Weston. Beograd winning the throw. Headed upwards by Baselli. Touch taken down by Abichu, but hasn't really benefited his side. Here's Ivanic on the left foot. Gets it all wrong.
Rushed it a bit there, Maxim Ivanic, but just a very interesting player, Maxim Ivanic, because he's really tall, really good with his feet, which is usually the other way around. If you're tall, you're better in the air. But doesn't just play up front, can play out wide, the way he's played most of this game. It's just a bit of a unicorn, a bit of everything. But I'm really keen to see him get a consistent run of football, to see what he can really do. He hasn't quite received that yet. In a side like this, you can tell why. But such a handy player to bring off the bench.
Clark finds himself on the wing. Perhaps a little bit unfamiliar for him. Adelaide City really not going down without a fight. And they could, and they will want to make FK Beograd rue some missed chances they had earlier on in the half on those counters. John Hall goes long. Chested down by Catano, perhaps not the favoured outcome.
Just no one to run onto that ball from Adelaide City.
Final 5 minutes. Ball over the top. We'll find Lewis Kylo. And does get the touch away to prevent. Neon Kuru just getting tangled with the referee there, I think. Another ball comes into the area. It's a bit too much on it, though. Goes all the way out of play for a throw. FK Beograd readying up a substitution in Christian Borghetto.
Scored against Croydon a couple of weeks ago after coming off the bench. Similar situation.
New signing for them for this season too, from Fulham. That ball goes forward for Ivanic. Takes on his man. Plays it back instead of trying to do the same again. It's a good ball out wide. It slips through. Needs to find an angle to put it in. Needs it now. And it does find it. Beograd 3-1. And you'd think that's the winner.
Yeah, it's been coming, hasn't it? FK Beograd have been the better team this half for obvious reasons with the extra man. But just the way they've set up, they've been the ones creating the chances. And they've been able to take one. And they basically walked it in. And Maxim Ivanic comes off the bench and makes an impact. Like Borghetto, you mentioned a couple of weeks ago. He does the job today, and as you said, you probably think it's just about over now, and that celebration right below us, I think, told the story.
Yeah, and I think he celebrated right in the face of Nicholas Booker. I think they were having little, well, Booker in particular was having little jibes at him earlier on when he came on. And I think him scoring the winner lets him have the last laugh in that situation.
I do remember last year him doing that to Frank Pasasa in the second game of the season after Frank Pasasa did it to their supporters in the first game. But FK Beograd will make a couple of subs to round out the game. Lorenzo Baselli off, Jason Constantopoulos on for Christian Borghetto and Riley Stam. So like for like changes really, but not that it would really mean much in these last couple of minutes before injury time. Like you said, I think it just about seals it now.
Would take something mighty from Adelaide City to at least get a point out of this.
And to be honest, the day like today,
we've seen stranger things. Kabedi can't find the option of the ball. Not too long until we enter additional time too. Catano was looking to try and turn. That ball will just go out of play, but I think at the moment it's about just holding this at the moment for Beograd rather than trying to get a fourth. Adelaide City, though, the complete opposite. Antonis, who would you pick as your player of the match for this evening?
It's a good question. Who would I pick?
That's what I asked you.
I think someone probably a bit more understated, like a Foibani and Kuru. I think he's just an absolute workhorse in that midfield. Doesn't always get the plaudits he deserves. I think he's been really solid today. And I really like the game of Christian Konstantopoulos while he was on as well. But a real team performance from FK Beograd. It's no real massive standout, just a team full of players that are doing their part. And it shows on the standings where they're second on the ladder now.
Speaking of the ladder, Para Hills versus West Torrens Bacala now finishing. We'll go back to that in a moment, but we can do that immediately. Para Hills 1-0 win over Bacala. Big for them. Puts them in 9th place. They're on 15 points, 7 clear of the relegation zone, or at least of Croatia Raiders at the bottom. But now put themselves 5 points clear of their opponents this evening, West Torrens Bacala. At the moment, Bacala and Raiders in those bottom 2 and the relegation positions. But, as we have said, this season is a competitive one, and things could change oh so quickly. Even Modbury looked close for a while there early on, and still do. They're still only in 10th place and equal with West Torrens Bacala, in fact, looking at it.
Yeah, like 1 or 2. You have a fortnight where you get 6 out of 6 points. From 10, you're talking 16, equal with Playford, who are 6th.
And you look at that, and it's Playford have been, I think, brilliant this season for a team coming up as well. Modbury perhaps not having the start as usual, but they could almost have a similar points tally within a few weeks.
Games, and because the league is so small and everyone plays each other, you can do crazy things. So, still a lot to be written.
It's what we want.
Exactly.
Into the second mid-divisional time. Can't imagine there'll be too much left.
Well, this is massive for FK Beograd. Another huge win this season. Again, didn't win this particular fixture away at Adelaide City for a decade. They've won it now twice in a row. And a big away win with a big away match coming next week for them. Away to the rivals, FK Beograd. Adelaide Croatia Raiders. Can tell it's getting late.
There would be a derby, I think, if they played against themselves, to be fair. We'd have a few torn between which side to support. But no, very huge. And of course, only in second place behind Metro Stars, who, of course, if they do get through that Cup semi-final or qualifying final, they could play in the Cup final.
And they have beaten them this year. FK Beograd beat
Absolutely.
Metro Stars.
And that will sort of the turn of their form, too.
Exactly.
3rd minute now. I think most here just waiting for the whistle to be blown at this point. Foul there and a free kick for City. That one just booted into the area. Needs to be dealt with. It's bouncing. Is it in? Is it off the line? I don't know where it is at the moment.
I think it's a goal.
I'm not sure what's been given. Yeah, it's in. It's a goal.
That looked more like a rugby scrum than anything. I have never seen the ball forced into the back of the net like that. And I think someone got booked in the process there as well.
Apologies for the almost delayed reaction towards that, but wasn't too sure what was going on, but it has been a goal in 3-2. Adds a bit of jeopardy for these final seconds, perhaps even.
I reckon you can watch that 10 more times. We can watch it 10 more times. I couldn't tell you who it is, but Alex on the PA reckons it's Yuki Takitano, so I'm going to back him.
Sure it is. We'll give it to Yuki Takitano for now.
But genuinely, that was a rugby scram there. That was they forced style through. They did not... that goal wasn't kicked. Interesting.
Well, adds a little something to look forward to in these final however long we have left.
It did seem that Vaspar has said 3 minutes after asking the assistant. So
after that goal?
Yes.
Is that 3 minutes from 90 or 3 minutes from then?
No.
Is the question.
Oh.
Collision on the far side. There's been a booking dealt to, I think, Nicholas Bucco over there.
When you thought this game was just about to settle into this result, this happens. And, you know, it's the night for it, Sev, it seems.
They do have a player down at the moment too. There we go. Confirmation of 1 more minute. Thanks to Lorenzo Baselli for talking to the assistant referee for us.
Boundary rider.
So 1 minute, and we're just entering the 6th now.
So you can see they're not lining up in the box, they're lining up on the side of FK Beograd. You want to bring it down? Throw in, keep it by the corner flag. Is not going to work out for them by Riley Stam.
They could even get a 4th. Clark. Falco goes down the wing. They're being told to take it to the corner. They haven't heeded it. And now Adelaide City look forward. One back. Taken past. It's a good touch from Banjak. It's a ball wide. This could be to finish it. And that's 4. And that is most certainly the game for FK Beograd.
And Maxim Ivanic again. I think it's at his brace. That's impact of the bench, Seb, and both goals required.
4-2 to FK Beograd after a late surge from Adelaide City. But it wasn't enough. And the substitute, Maxim Ivanic, wins this match for Beograd and takes them into a massive derby next week.
Literally off his own boot. 2 goals. Again, I don't know how Adrian the lawyer felt about that ball being played to that side. Asking for the corner flag, but he'll take it. And Maxim Ivanic will absolutely take it as well. A couple of goals from him off the bench.
Bucco trying to look from range. And it's a corner.
What's going on tonight, Seb? I can't explain it.
Late drama in the WMPL and late drama in the NPL. Wouldn't have had it any other way here tonight at Adelaide City Park. Another late corner. Could there be a 3rd for Adelaide City? Delivered into the front post. Might just be taken back to the corner, in fact. And that will be full-time. Beograd 4-2 winners tonight. And now they can look forward to a massive 2 weeks for their club and the future of their season.
Yeah, massive, and we're really looking forward to it, but they've set up themselves excellently. You know, after a slower start to the season, couldn't have asked for a better response, and here they are. They've lost in the last 12 games, they've lost 1 game against Campbelltown City last week, sitting pretty second on the ladder, and in the Cup semi-final with a chance at a national stage and a trophy against a rival. So, fantastic spot to find themselves in.
16 shots apiece, 9-8 in favour of FK Beograd, and 23 combined fouls as well.
Yeah, it was an enjoyable game. I do think that when you look at the quality of the chances, FK Beograd probably had the better of them, and you can explain that with having the extra player.
Absolutely.
But you start thinking that what if it was 11 versus 11, how it would have played out, because you remember the start of that game, absolute barnstorm. So Beograd gets the points at the end, but again, City can hold themselves their heads up high. But the winners were clear for me today.
Well, our evening at Adelaide City Park, unfortunately, comes to an end. No 3rd game to continue on the madness, but it's been thoroughly enjoyable, both games. And this one alongside you, Antonio. It's always a pleasure to have you alongside me.
Always a pleasure. Thank you for having me, Seb.
No problem, especially if you're going to bring games like this as well.
Yes,
I have no issue.
It's on me.
Full-time here in Oakton at Adelaide City Park. Full-time score, Adelaide City 2, FK Beograd 4.